Okay. All right, cool. Damn. I'm a good-looking man, ain't
Not as good looking as me.
I? I'm kidding there.
All right.
All right.
Let's see what we got going on
Use
here.
my phone prop right here.
Crown Royale. This stuff's actually really good and it's cheap. It's like $3.50 for two of them.
IPAs for girls.
IPAs for men. I like IPA. It's pretty good sometimes.
I get no signal in here.
I'm going to see real quick.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So, if you guys are just tuning in, we're trying to go live on Facebook and YouTube. And
Oh, there we go. I'm live. We live. I don't know how good they can hear me, but I'm sure if we're talking normal, that shouldn't be a problem.
I'm still getting used standing up.
I don't know why I feel like I'm like about to be in the college football playoffs or something. Kind of nervous. That's all right. We'll deal with it.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Look, you already got a view.
Got one viewer. Me.
Well, hell, you're doing better than I am. I ain't got nothing.
There's 3 now.
Uh-oh. We getting rolling now.
so, what we need to do is a shout out on all the
Mikey
different
T's
sites, so we can
Kind of gradually as we go
let 'em
through
know.
it, or
So anybody that's not following a Latte Fun is not going to see the feed. So we
Yeah,
need to
of
let
course.
everybody know that, hey, we're on.
we should have went live on like Fishing Fanatics and some of the pages. That
Yeah,
are,
trying to figure that one out.
it's actually really easy if you just go to the page itself. Like go to Fishing Fanatics, you can go to like make a post and then you just hit live.
But I want to be on more than just that one page.
I don't know if it works like that.
Exactly.
Oh, what's up, Richard? Oh, look, Seth, he's watching. Floyd's watching. What's up, guys? We're in the process of figuring everything out right now, so y'all just stay tight, hang tight for a minute. We're kind of getting it rolling, and here in just a minute we'll get to the good stuff. I like this. It's pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm sharing it.
Oh, Mikey T, what's up, man? So are we live on here too? Or is this just the recording
No, that's
process?
just the recording.
Okay. All right, cool.
So,
Shout out to Archipelago Outfitters. I love that company. They've had my back since day one pretty much. Jack Moran is watching. Yakking with Jack. What's up, dude? We here got Captain Richard, Captain James. Finna give y'all some intel, show y'all. We're going to talk about inshore fishing, surf fishing. Who knows what else we might talk about in the process, but it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. Y'all just hang tight for just a minute. We're getting everything set up right now, getting everything in working
all
order.
right, so you can see who's logging in and see the questions.
Brad, what's up, Brad? Yeah. So if y'all have any questions, just if you want to, just go ahead and type them in. They'll pop up, and I'll do my best to try to pay attention to what y'all are asking, what y'all want to know, and we'll try to answer these questions for you guys so that we can help y'all out, or whatever it is y'all want to ask. Just go ahead here when we get started and just shoot a question up, and I'll try to look at it and give y'all an answer.
For the love of Pete.
There we go.
You working yet?
I just shared it, so
Okay.
maybe it'll work.
All right, so for anybody just tuning in, you probably already know this is episode 5.
I think it's 5.
5?
Yeah.
5. I think so.
Yep.
Of Coffee with the Cap. I actually have my coffee cup. It does have a little Jameson in it.
I have my coffee cup.
Coffee's for losers.
Yeah, it's coffee. A little Irish coffee.
Mm-hmm. He just got Sprite. Don't let him fool you.
Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and get started, I guess. So, again, my name is Captain James, and I run a fishing charter here in Pensacola called A Latte Fun Fishing.
And I'm Captain Richard. I run R&R saltwater fishing.
I'm Scott Addis. I don't have any charters. I do run surf fishing trips, though, and I have a YouTube channel called Gulf Coast.
All right, so now that we got that out, today, like Scott said, we're going to talk a little bit about inshore fishing and beach fishing. So we were actually off camera. We were just talking about if you were new to an area, if you were just coming into Pensacola, if you'd never fished here before, where would you go to, say, catch a redfish?
The first thing I would do if I was new to an area, like I was a year ago, almost to this date, a little bit longer, but I would hit some local tackle shops and stuff like that, and just try to get the people that run these businesses to try to give me a little bit of intel. And I'm not asking for exact spots, but I would like to just kind of see, where they're saying like, oh, this bridge, like Bob Sykes Bridge. That's an amazing place to go out at night and target bull redfish. I've caught slots out there. I mean, like my biggest one right now is 43. When I'm new to an area, what I like to do is I just find water, and then I go and I found this spot that I want to go check out using Google Earth or any just satellite imaging, and I look for where you have a flat that kind of turns into sand or something like that, because those fish are going to be running. Like let's say here's grass and here's sand. They're going to be running that edge, looking for bait pushing off the sand, bait coming in off these grass beds and stuff like that. I've always known that fish love structure. So if you can find any type of structure, whether it be a rock pile, jetties, a pier, a bridge, anything like that, no matter what, there's going to be a fish there at all times. So my favorite thing to do when I first come to an area is I find structure. That's always been my go-to. That's always been even when I'm freshwater fishing looking for bass. I want to find, let's say I walk the bank and there's a tree laying down on the bank. I know that if I pitch a bait into that tree, that there's probably going to be a fish in it, and the odds are pretty good. So the first thing I do is, let's say, like when I first moved here, I went to Bob Sykes Bridge a lot. It's the bridge that goes from Gulf Breeze to Pensacola Beach, and I went out there with live shrimp, live pinfish, and I started pitching baits down by the structure, and it paid off. It doesn't matter, and even if you don't have live bait, you can take some mullet out and cut them up and use cut bait, and it's just It's not real hard to find fish if you find structure first. That's what I do.
Let me slow you down just a little bit. So how did you find Bob Sykes Bridge?
Honestly, when I moved here, I came last October, I think it was, and my mother told me as we're going over the bridge, going to the beach, because everybody when they're tourists they go to the beach. My mom told me that, hey, there's a fishing pier down there that you really need to go check out. Okay, cool. So that's what I did.
Okay.
And it's the same with 3 Mile. When I originally drove into Pensacola, I went across the old 3 Mile bridge. Now I guess it would be called, right? Now that we have the new bridge is built, which I wasn't here when I moved here. But I saw the people fishing on the drive-on bridge, and I was like, oh, that might be a cool spot. I need to go try that out.
Okay.
So, what side of the bridge is more productive for you?
On Bob Sykes Bridge.
On Bob Sykes.
I don't really fish the north side of the bridge as much as I should, because I like that side of the bridge. There's a lot of rocks and stuff like that. Usually I go to, where the Grand Marlin is. I usually go to that side, and I actually have one spot that I can't tell everybody, but there's one spot on that bridge that I've always caught fish at. Always. And I know every time I go to that bridge and fish that one spot, I catch a fish.
So with them closing the ends of the bridge off, does that affect the fishing you have right now?
Oh, gosh. I really like the ends of the bridge.
Yeah.
And I've been out there a couple of times since they closed them down.
Have you been under it to see why they closed it down?
Yeah. No, I've seen it. I went under there in a kayak, and it's very sketchy. The bridge is basically crumbling into pieces under that bridge, and there is a reason that they closed it down. So if I was you, I probably wouldn't go down there, because at any given second, all you see is concrete, rebar, concrete. There's no actual concrete touching concrete on some parts of that bridge, so it is kind of sketchy. But I have been out there. Let's just say that. But the second time I've ever fished the Gulf Breeze side of that bridge was about a week before I went on vacation not too long ago, and I caught a sheep's head.
Yeah.
We spent probably an hour, 2 hours out there. We went out, I'd say about 3 o'clock. So, it gets dark, 4:30, 5 o'clock it's getting dark, and we were rolling out. But we stayed in one spot for way too long. Right where, you're walking out to the end of the bridge and where they had the gate at. Mm-hmm. We stayed there for almost the whole time. And I moved in a little bit closer because I was like, we need to go hop these pylons and find where these fish are. And sure enough, I went like 2 pylons down, pitched a fiddler crab up into the pylons, and 5 minutes later I had a sheep's head. All right. So it's a cool spot. I like Sykes Bridge. I love it, actually. I've caught a lot of fish out there.
So Scarlett wants to know what the best fishing poles for kids to start with.
Something lightweight. If I was a young kid, like 3, 4 years old, they have this thing at Walmart. It's called a dock demon. And I know you know what it is, and I know you know what it is. It's a bad mammoth jammer. You can go out there and catch 5-pound largemouth on it. You need to get something that a kid can hold, a kid can have, to where they're not like, carrying around a 7-foot star the dock demon. I mean, it's your little push button, throw it, let go of the button, and it goes out. Or a Zebco 33. There's just so many small, just get something small, light, little, that the kid will be in control of at all times. Yeah. That's what you want, is them to be happy.
That's what we started my son out with, and my daughter. They all got little Zebcos. When my son now, he's graduated to a spinning reel. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, I'd start off with something small like that, a Zebco. Little cheaper rod and reel to make sure that they're interested, keep them interested, and then as they progress, buy them better stuff.
I agree.
Now, here's something that's pretty important, though. The little Zebco 33 and the Dock Demon are not really going to be saltwater friendly.
No, they're not.
No,
so
take care of them.
You really have to make sure that you're cleaning those off. And by that, just rinsing them in clean water really helps.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
If you don't do anything else. Most people don't do real maintenance.
No, not at all. And it's sad to see. It really is.
Yes, it is.
See, my biggest thing is like I go to tell somebody, make sure you just rinse your rods off, when you get done. People go and douse their rods in water. That's not what you want to do.
I do.
Do you really?
But I take mine apart. I grease them.
Okay, yeah. See, that's a lot of people don't do that type of stuff.
I have to, because we use them so.
Yeah.
They get used so heavy, and just in my boat in general, just running, especially if we're offshore. Yeah. Almost no matter where you put the rod,
they're going to get salt spray.
It's going to get salt spray.
100%.
And even the ones you don't use, the ones that you've got stuck down in the gunnel. I always take a sabiki rod out, rigged up, ready to go. And even if we don't use that sabiki, at the end of the day, I still have to rinse that off. It's going to be covered in salt water. And I've forgotten So I know the effects. And if you don't take the handle off and take things apart and you just rinse them, that salt builds up in there. It gets in every little crack and crevice. That's why I really like the spin fisher, where at least it's sealed. Yeah. And you can tell as soon as you pull it apart, you can tell if water's gotten in there, if you've got seal issues or anything like that. So, no, I do soak them down pretty good.
Yeah. I spray them off, and like if I got salt away, I'll hit them with some salt away. But yeah, I mean, as far as maintenance goes, that's going to be the top thing is maintain whatever you have.
If you want them to last, take care of them.
Well, for a charter guy too, I mean, obviously, we're out of season right now. The weather's cold.
Everything's been torn down.
You're getting blown off. Yeah, we're getting blown out. It's pretty windy today. This weekend, coming up, we've got 7 to 9 foot seas, I think, tomorrow.
Oh, wow, that sounds fun.
So yeah,
send it. You just gotta send it.
So this is the perfect time. You get a little bit of downtime. You pull your rods apart. You clean them real well, grease them, oil them, put them back together. And there's all kinds of stuff. If you go to the YouTube channel over this winter, I'm going to be posting some videos showing exactly how I maintain my stuff. Yep. And I follow the manufacturer's directions.
That's a good thing.
That's how I do them. There's probably an easier way, and there may be better products. But when it comes to maintenance on my equipment, if it's my motor's a Yamaha, I buy the Yamalube.
Oh, yeah, of course.
If it's a pin reel, I buy the pin grease. That's what it was designed for. I'm sure there's cheaper products that work just as well or better. I just buy what the manufacturer recommends. And then that way, too, if I have to warranty it, it's covered. And Yamaha knows if you're not using Yamalube and you have an engine failure and you take it in, they know what their oil looks like, and they won't warranty it. So
yeah, that's what I've been doing is buying all the Tohatsu stuff. Even though I could use Honda brand, I use Tohatsu. So
yeah, that's what they want.
And I see a couple reels that you brought.
Oh yeah, always. So, I like to bring my babies with me. Yeah.
They're let's see what you brought, man.
So the first one that I will show you is this is a it's a St. Croix. Mojo Inshore, 7.7, medium. It's a medium action rod, but it's got a fast tip, and I like the fast tip because you really can feel the bite. Whenever these fish pick your bait up, the rod tip is so light that any little jerk, like when you're holding your braid, waiting for a bite, you really can feel it. But it's got a pin conflict. 3,000 on it, 15-pound Invisibraid. Right now, I just have a little pompano jig tied up because we went out and played around a little bit the other day in the surf. But it's a killer. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just got it not too long ago. I'm really excited to. I have a 500 subscriber giveaway on my YouTube channel. I'm about to do. And I'm going to take this bad boy with me and see really what it's made of. Because right now, I tried to stop some red snapper with it out at Pickens Pier, but it just couldn't handle it. It's just a 3,000, like I said, 15-pound braid. You can't go stop a 20-pound snapper in the pylons with a 3,000. I don't care who you are, what you do, where you live. It's impossible, basically. But that's that one.
That is a great rod for sheep's head, though.
Yeah, the fast action tip for sheep's head, because sheep's head, they're so finicky, and their bite is so soft.
It's super light.
All you feel is that thump. But whenever you go out there with a medium heavy, and it doesn't have the fast action tip, that thump isn't a thump. It's like a, like it's really hard to pick up sheep's head.
What I've been using are the Battle 4000s. Man, that's tough.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It's tough. As light as that rod is, because I'm so used to the bigger stuff, the big game stuff, but it feels it's a good redfish rod. It's good for a lot of stuff. But pinfish and sheep's head, that's actually tough. It makes it really sporty. And you don't get that same sensitivity that you do with the the faster tip and the lighter rod.
The fast action tip makes a huge difference. No matter what any type of fish that you're going for. It's
Well, I normally do on most of my spinning reels. I've got medium action rods, regardless of the size of the rod, and then just because I don't want a broomstick, and then I'll still go with the fast tip.
Yep.
So I have that sensitivity. But if it's a 15 to 30 class rod, this is pretty thick. And I did have a custom rod made by Chaos, and got my logo and stuff put on it in the sailfish. And nice. I think I'm going to have Dean Ryan make me a couple rods this year with the logo on it for the boat.
He's good at what he does. That's for sure. That's for sure.
So I'm kind of excited about that.
Oh yeah.
So back to what we were saying on the inshore fishing, and you kind of touched base on it, and we went kind of quick, so I'm going to go over it again. So new to an area, Google Maps is an awesome help to help you find a water, and not just the water, but where you can access the water.
Yeah, because 100%, especially fishing from shore.
As an inshore fisherman,
you just can't go anywhere and fish wherever you want to.
It's tough.
Yeah,
you see good spots sometimes on the map, and you can't get to them.
Oh yeah, I know of a couple. It's like, Lord, if I could just get there, if I could just get there. But
sometimes it's a trek, and I've traveled all over the country, and I really used to keep a rod behind the seat, or behind the seat of my truck. Mm-hmm. Everywhere I went, if I saw a mud puddle, I would stop and fish it.
Oh yeah, got to.
Just see what if there's anything in there. Farm ponds, I'd stop and fish them. Little creeks and rivers and stuff. But sometimes that was always one of those deals. You're driving by and you can see the water, so it's not that far. I may have to climb a fence.
You gotta do what you gotta do, huh?
To get to the water. But usually if you can see the water, it's easy access. Some of the places that you'll see on the map are actually pretty difficult to get to.
Oh yeah. 400 yards sometimes.
Yeah.
Through the woods.
Walking down the railroad track to get
on.
to.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been there before.
So, but using the Google Maps, and you can zoom in. A lot of them, and I've actually got an app, a navigation app on my phone that does the same thing. It'll give you a satellite image, but it also gives me the water depth.
Yeah, and you can kind of see a contour on some of them.
Right.
Like, where the water's like out at Pensacola Beach, the water is beautifully clear.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, but then you can see where it starts to get darker. That's like the drop-offs and stuff like that. You can see the same thing inshore, just like you can on the beach. If you look, you'll see, the sand flats that kind of roll through, and then you'll see where the grass starts.
Right.
And that's the areas that I personally like to target those areas. I'll walk out to the edge of the sand and we'll pitch a bait out.
It depends on what type of fish I'm targeting that day. And for me, I like live bait. So if I've got live bait, that kind of starts pushing me toward, if I've got shrimp, well, these are the fish that I'm going to target. If I don't have, if you go to the bait shop and they're sold out of shrimp, so now I'm throwing a cast net. If I'm on mullet, I'm going to target different species, than if I'm on menhaden.
Yeah.
Or even white bait. If I've got LY, I'm fishing a little bit different. But that is more from the boat than shore.
Yeah.
But again, it's always different. Live bait from shore can be.
You can get it.
It can be everywhere. Really, really kind of tough to fish it the same way we do it out of a boat.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Well, sometimes
100%.
my shore bait spots are more productive than hopping in the boat and driving.
That's true, and
So,
that was something
right.
I wanted to mention when you were talking about going to the bridge and walking all the way out to the end and staying there too long that first time. The the bait is generally going to be closer to shore in shallow water.
100%.
And it goes there for a couple reasons. One, that's where the plankton goes, and it dead ends. You can't go any further. So they're going there, and they know if they get into the skinny water that the bigger predator fish are hanging out just at that drop off.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're more visible too, I think.
Safe. They feel safer in that skinny water. But fish do get up in there.
Oh yeah,
you see
100%.
big redfish in 3 inches of water. That's a trip. You watch
Tails hanging halfway.
Chase a bait up on almost up onto the.
Cool thing about bridge fishing, let's say when the Spanish mackerel are running through the bay, everybody in Pensacola is catching Spanish, but you could walk onto any bridge in Pensacola, even like Pickens Pier. You would go to Pickens Pier.
Oh yeah.
Throw your bait net one time. I throw I think it's a 8 or 9 foot 3/8 mesh bait net. And I would throw it one time, and I would have so many LY, I wouldn't know what to do with them. Like, literally, I would have to, throw half of them back in the water and let them live another day.
The mullet were real thick there, too.
Oh, Lord,
at the same time.
I love mullet. Mullet's one of my favorites.
And that was a great spot to catch a mullet, put it right on a hook, and send it right back out.
Because they're after them.
The fish knew that the bait was there, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty fun fishing.
Oh,
we waded out and fished that.
Oh, that
pier. That was fun.
That's a beautiful place out there.
The water was still warm enough, that you could get in and it wasn't too bad. Now it's
actually I was out there yesterday.
A little chilly.
I was out there yesterday. It wasn't too bad. Honestly, I'm not even saying that to be. It wasn't too bad.
What day was that?
Yesterday.
No, I think last Sunday I was in about probably knee deep out on the beach.
Oh, I didn't go that deep.
And it was a little chilly.
I was just getting my feet wet.
Just so I can get
just
a catch. That's all I need.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
So, Rich, do you still do much inshore fishing?
I do some, but it's mostly from a boat.
Yeah.
It's not all the time land fishing. With the weather the way it is now, yeah, I've been doing a little more, but not as much as I'd like.
Kayaks are fun too.
Kayaks are fun. I don't have an actual fishing kayak.
Can you ride in it?
Well, yeah.
Can you hold a rod in it?
Yeah, I put rod holders. Of course, I installed rod holders in it.
You can fish in it.
I got the little Pelican West Marine, kayak, and we actually got them just for exercise.
Yeah.
Me and the wife, we got 2 of them. And I was looking at the fishing kayaks, and I kind of laughed, and old Bud Pope was giving me a hard time about, man, why don't you just, put another couple $100 with it and buy yourself a little skiff.
Might as well.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could. Some of these kayaks, the prices are
ridiculous.
That's
like
they're nice.
I have to get me one of those.
I don't have
Jackson
$1,500.
kayaks, the big tuna or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to get one of those because it's like 14 foot long, holds like 500 pounds. So that'd be me and like a rod.
But that's that's actually a really good kayak if you want to go offshore.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
You wouldn't need it if you were just going to be around the bay, but
I'd take my kayak offshore. I ain't scared. It's 10 foot. I mean, hell, I'd be all right.
Mine is like a canoe.
Let's go then. I'm ready.
I think it's not supposed to sink.
Yours is different.
Mine is a sit-in.
The sit-ins, I would not take that off because you
Me
take
neither.
one wave and a sit-in and you're down.
There's no keel on
Gotta
it.
learn how to flip it over and
when you
yeah, exactly.
Now I can do that. I grew up floating and fishing rivers and streams and stuff, and I can do that, but it's still not fun.
Yeah,
it ruins your day.
I can imagine. Then you're soaking wet, and you got all your gear with you and stuff like. It's just.
I've got all the dry pouches and all that stuff to put your phone in, and.
But you flip it over, it's you're done for.
It's
like me and my kayak.
It sucks.
And
this time of year especially.
Oh god, yeah, because it's.
Then you're just cold and wet, and
you just want to pack it up.
Yeah,
I'm done.
make the rest of your day.
And then both your rods are sitting at the bottom of Pensacola Bay.
So
I've got a couple there now.
when you're fishing from shore, what's your preferred rig?
It really depends. It all depends on what I'm targeting. If I was just to go out to any place inshore and use one rig, probably be a Carolina rig. Honestly, I mean everybody uses them. They work great. Depending on what size fish, how the current is, your weights change, your swivels change, your leaders change, your hook size change. You really have to adapt to what you want to do. Like if I'm going out to target bull redfish, and I'm using a live pinfish, a 1 ounce weight is the smallest I'm going to use, and that's if the current's hardly moving at all. Mm-hmm. I'll go 2-3 ounces if I have to, and I'll use 20-30 pound fluorocarbon with a 2 to 3 foot leader on it with 5 to 7 aught hooks. That's just kind of how I roll. But let's say you're going out to target sheep's head. Mm-hmm. I'll use ½ ounce, 3/4 ounce. 1 ounce is like max. If you go heavier than a 1 ounce for sheep's head, you're probably not going to feel it hit when it hits, because it's either the wind's blowing too hard and pushing your bait, the current's moving too fast, something's going. Sheep's head they're really hard to catch. And mangrove snappers the same way. A mangrove, I use a 1 ounce at all times. Mm-hmm. And if you and 99% of the time I have 20 pound fluorocarbon on. Yeah. And whether it's a 5 to 7 aught circle hook, a size 2 J hook, a size 4 live bait hook for sheep's head, no matter what it is, Carolina rig it's a go-to inshore. Yeah. It's really simple to make, really simple to use, but it's effective. It catches fish. I know it catches fish. You know it catches fish. You know it catches fish. It works. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
One really neat advantage, I think, of having a boat is being able to test theories on the fly.
Yeah. 100%.
And by that, I mean the last sheep's head fishing trip I was on, I had a couple guys on the boat, and they're both fishing 12-pound fluoro leader.
A lot of people
and
do
I
that.
grab a rod and tie a hook on, and I had 30-pound mono. And I put the exact same hook. They're using my size 1 hooks, I tie a hook on, put a crab on it, throw it out. I watch both of these guys each catch 2 fish, mm-hmm. and I have not gotten a bite.
It's called finicky.
And I was giggling because I knew, I just wanted to see, are they really leader shy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can they see that? The water looks stained. It had rained.
It looks
I got a funny story about that, too.
So I did. I took the hook off. I put the 12-pound on, and immediately I throw it out, and I get a bite, or it steals my bait.
Of course.
And again, I'm still laughing because I know that was the key that day. Yeah. It wasn't the bait. We're all fishing the same crabs. We've got the same size hook. But by the time I had retied and rebaited and all this, mm-hmm. they're setting about 3 or 4 fish a piece. Oh, yeah. I still haven't caught one.
Lighter's always better. I mean, it's
100%.
Presentation is key for 90% of the fishing that you're going to be doing inshore. And the lighter you can go, the more chance of hooking up you're going to have.
Well, presentation is key too. Even in a boat or offshore, mm-hmm. inshore or offshore, presentation is still going to be that 90%.
The legend? Come on in, Mr. Legend.
What up?
Who else you got?
What's going on, brother? I see. So the key to inshore, offshore, any type of fishing is your bait has to be natural. It doesn't matter what you do, how you fish it, how you use it. If your bait does not look like it's supposed to be there, they're not going to eat it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, it really doesn't. You can do anything you want to do, and it's not going to work unless your bait looks like something they see every day. Yep. And it's really simple. It's simple to me, simple to you, simple to you, but there's several different methods you can use to make your bait look like that's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
You take a bull minnow 100 miles offshore, probably not going to catch a fish. That's something they've never seen.
All right, so Casey Bryant wants to know, what's the hardest species for you to personally target and succeed on a weekly basis?
It depends on if we're talking about surf fishing or inshore fishing. On
What you think, Casey? Surf fishing?
It's just really it's a hard
Inshore?
because it is.
I don't know,
me,
Casey.
I would
Is he
say,
That's one of my buddies.
beach fisherman?
Nah, that's one of my buddies. Well, he's got a boat. He's actually in Jacksonville right now.
Oh,
And
okay.
he fishes. I think it's primarily redfish, speckled trout, and flounder.
Is
I
he
would
down
say-
for the Meat Mayhem tournament?
inshore.
I'm not sure. Yeah, he's asking inshore.
Okay.
I think one of the hardest species to target just in the Pensacola area, and I know there's a whole ton of them, but you really have to finesse them, and you really have to know what you're doing is flounder.
Oh,
I mean, redfish are so easy to catch. Trout are so easy to catch.
is that what he said?
No, he's saying he's in St. Augustine, not Jacksonville.
Just here. I mean, you can really catch anything
bad,
here,
buddy.
no matter what you do. But I feel like, just for me personally, the hardest species of fish for me to catch is a flounder.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing for me as far as that. It's flounder because they're moving. A lot of times they're moving. Like now, you're not going to see them inshore. You're going to see them offshore. Mm-hmm. It just depends on where you want to be that day and what you're able to go do, especially in the wintertime.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Well, our white bait is not as plentiful. So if you're fishing artificial, and even off of, I'm speaking from a boat.
Yeah.
But it's still difficult unless you're gigging. So I've always gigged for flounder.
That's gravy work there.
But trying to get them to bite
An actual
live bait is a whole lot different.
Unless you're dragging bull minnows, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can go out and drag bull minnows, and there's a good chance you're gonna catch a flounder. It's like I just caught my first flounder here, not too long ago. But I was in my kayak. I was fishing a rock wall that had rocks that came down off of it, and I was throwing a matrix shad in ultraviolet with a 3/8 jig head, bumping it off the bottom. And I can't tell you all that spot is top secret. I'll show it to you, but I can't tell you.
You can whisper it to me.
I'll whisper to you all day long.
I know where that spot is.
Mm-hmm.
I know where those rocks are.
Yeah.
And there's actually flounder that stack up there at times.
Yeah.
And I actually had 2 or 3 flounder that day. One of them was very big, or it felt very big. I mean, the one flounder I caught, I think it was like 15 inches. It was a good flounder. But the other 2 that I hooked, they were a lot bigger. They were doormats. My girlfriend actually caught a gag grouper under that same.
Can you read that?
Hold on one second.
Looking straight up your nose.
Yep. What's up, nostrils?
Sorry, y'all. So it says, I have more luck on artificial when fishing for flounder as you're covering more ground, and most of the time they're just sitting there, so you really have to work a large area and get it to
Now, that is a misconception that I always thought because I was gigging flounder, they just sit there, they won't move.
They won't. They'll sit in the same spot.
I saw they
But
will
you have to
chase
use
a
the
bait
double-
down
the
there,
double-
very aggressive.
You know what I'm talking about, the double rig? You told me about it, actually, I think. Is, like, let's say you tie a bucktail to the bottom, and then you just put a hook on the top with, let's say, like a curly tail or something. And you just kind of bump that across. I don't know why it gets
Did
them
Richard
fired
tell
up.
you that?
Yeah, he did.
He was lying.
It gets who what? I don't know. Some random dude out at Palafox.
Random guy.
Yeah, just some random dude.
I'll come there, Casey. You can show me how to catch them.
I'll show you how to catch him. You want to catch him?
I would say
I just want to go fishing with Casey. It's been a while since
flounder
we fished
are hard to
They're very
hard to
finicky.
pin down.
Yeah, you have to find the bottom they want, the structure they want, the bait they want. Like everything that you do to catch a flounder has to be what they want. It's like it has to be the perfect scenario to catch a flounder. And that's like the only fish I feel like the only fish in Pensacola Bay, it has to be like that. Like, let's say we go out to Pensacola Bay and we're dropping live pinfish, cut cigs, cut squid, anything like that. You can drop it on any wreck in Pensacola Bay and catch a fish.
Catch something, yeah.
Catch something, yeah. But flounder,
But pulling flounder like that's not. There are a couple spots that you can do that. You can drop, which
damn near
was
anything.
again, this was new to me because I had only ever gigged flounder in shallow water. Last year we went out, or 2 years ago, I guess it was, we went out and fished deep holes for flounder,
That's where they're at.
and ended up pulling and in the bay.
Yeah.
And ended up pulling them. So that was really interesting to see how that worked, because I thought there's no way. You know, I went with another charter captain, and it said, "Show me."
Well, see, what's funny
I
is
didn't believe it.
A lot of people
I
think
thought he was
that
joking,
flounder up shallow.
and we actually did catch him.
Flounder on all rates up shallow in, you know, the sand flats, because that's where you usually gauge flounder, is in the actual sand flats. So you can see them just sitting there waiting for something to swim over them so that they can ambush. They're an ambush predator. That's what it is. You have to put a bait in there. They're not going to chase a bait. You literally have to put a bait in their face for them to eat it.
Well, that's what I was saying. I always thought that too. And then I saw the footage. I've got a underwater camera, a Spydro camera, in line, and we trolled some lures and then played the footage
You can troll
back.
too, yeah.
And the flounder will chase it.
Well, yeah, once you get it in their area.
Once they saw
You
it.
can't just throw a bait out, you know, like a redfish, and they're like, oh, look, there's a miridine, you know, 10 foot away, and come up at it. Boom. You have to get it in there.
That's exactly what my redfish say. They say that's a miridine.
I'm not going to eat that thing.
Oh, they still jump on there.
Oh, yeah.
They still jump on. They can't help it. That's
all.
awesome lure.
Oh, yeah, I love miridines.
What about you, bud? How you gonna catch a flounder from shore?
Oh, with the mullet net.
With a mullet?
Net's the best way to catch.
Like throwing a net on.
I've caught them at Pickens Pier like that.
Yeah.
Throwing a net at bait. And I threw a net. It was a pancake. Boom, landed, drug it up, and there's 2 or 3 flounder in it.
They're in the fridge in the garage. Okay. I'm just trying to be a good host.
Yeah, we got in the podcast a little later.
So
Always
we're probably coming to the end of this first one. If you jumped in late and you want to hear us BSing, pretty much, go check out the YouTube channel, Latte Fun Fishing. We'll have a recording up online, and we'll post it somewhere.
Yeah, I'll share the YouTube link on my business page also on R&R Saltwater Fishing.
So we're going to start doing this. This first one's kind of a trial run just to see how we were going to link everything up. We've got multiple cameras going on and multiple angles.
Kind of hard to keep up with.
Yeah, the one on YouTube is going to look
now.
better. But as we do this a couple of times, we'll get better at it, and we'll be doing this live, or we're going to try to do it.
Yeah, we're going to try and do it live from
next week, and
yeah, we'll try it at Fraser's.
Okay.
I'll swing by there tonight and talk to him.
So we're going to plan on doing one night next week, and we'll let you guys know in advance. But one night next week will be at Fraser's Country Wines on
Barrancas.
Barrancas.
Yeah.
I guess I ain't southern
Barrancas.
enough. Looks like Barrancas to me.
One of them were.
Check them out,
Barrancas.
man. They're nice fruit-based wines. They're all really good. Ladies love them.
And they do have beer.
Yeah, they do have beer.
Yeah.
Bottle and can beer, domestic, import.
But it's a neat little place. They have live music a couple times a week. It's really a chill, laid back place. Got to come check it out. I think they put out some maybe some food at happy hour, but we'll get more information for you guys and let you know. Maybe even have some stuff to give away.
We're going to discuss a little surf fishing too, just to let y'all know at some point, either today, tomorrow, next week. Just because I know that a lot of people love surf fishing. That's what they like to do. That would be something I feel like everybody would love to learn and know how to do. Would be go out to the beach, have a good time, kick back, drink some beers, and catch some fish.
Well, I mean, that's what you do, right?
That's what I do.
You do a surf fishing or land-based charters.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
So surf fishing is something I've done for a long time. That's what I know how to do. Inshore is not new to me, but it's new to me, if that makes any sense at all. Surf fishing is a lot different than going inshore, finding structure, finding rock piles, just finding inshore is more of finding differences in the contour of the bottom. That's how you catch fish inshore.
Well, tell us about your business and how they can contact you if they're looking for
Okay, so
land-based charter.
if you go to Facebook, type in Gulf Coasting Surf Fishing Trips, and that's how you can find me. I charge $150 for 4 people to go out for 4 hours of fishing. It's an additional $20 per person, and additional $20 per hour that we go fish. There's a lot of good times to go surf. It's very hit or miss in the surf. Either you can go out and you can catch limits in an hour, or you can go out, sit there all day, and catch 5 or 6 fish. That's why if you feel like you can't go to the surf and consistently catch fish, you need to book a trip with me, because I can go out there. I know how to read the water. I know what I need to do. I know what gear I need to have. I know what baits I need to throw, to where we can go out, have a good time on the water, enjoy the beach, enjoy sitting at the beach, watching the waves, and we can go out and catch fish. It's kind of a complicated thing to learn how to do, especially if you're new to it. But there's certain ways, certain things, certain tricks that you need to know that I will teach you on these trips. It's not like you're just going to come on a trip, I'm going to bait your hook and throw it out there. What we're going to do is we're going to walk up to a spot. I'm going to show you what I see, the different wave patterns. Like, let's say there's waves crashing here, there's no waves crashing like in the middle of them. Okay, so we know there's a hole. You'll see they crash on sandbars, basically. So if you're sitting in the Gulf of Mexico looking at the beach and you have waves coming at you and they're crashing, and there's one spot in between the waves that there's no like white caps rolling, you know it's deeper there.
I'm going to stop you there, man. Book a trip.
Yeah, just book a trip. That's all you got. Just come holler at me. Book a trip. Get on Facebook. Michael Addis is my name on Facebook. Just send me a message if you want to learn how to catch fish, and I'll take you out there and we'll have a good time and get on some fish. I guarantee it.
I'm good. Y'all good?
I love to take folks fishing. I can't guarantee you're going to catch a damn thing.
Unless
no guarantees.
Unless you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Gulf Coasting, you're going to catch a fish. Even if I have to hook it up and hand you the rod, you can come out with me and Callahan or me and Richard, and we're going to get on some fish. I promise you.
I'll come. I get to fish for free, though.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Come out there with us. It'll be fun.
You bring in the bottle?
You'll see how
I'll come.
This is your bottle, but yeah, I'll bring
I'll
it.
still come. Bring the bottle. I'll come.
You'll see how I whisper to them. It's a technique.
And for y'all that don't know, this is the Fish Whisperer.
I'm the whisperer.
Michael Scott Addis.
Yes, sir. You know it. All you got to do is you just got to. It's real simple.
Casey said he don't have to pay the $150 because you gave it all away. That's why I tried to stop you.
Yeah, you can't give it all away.
I didn't give it all away. You don't know.
Little pieces.
All I showed you was how to find a hole. It's not that simple.
We hope you guys understand the whole
Taylor
point.
wants to know, how do you whisper for croaker?
How do you whisper for croaker?
Yep.
Well,
he wants to catch them bull croaker.
What you do is you just kind of go, and then they come. It's really simple.
It works.
There you have it, Taylor.
It's magic.
The whole point of our podcast is basically to hopefully you guys get a little bit of entertainment out of it.
100%.
If you learn something, great. But we're hoping that we're entertaining. We're entertaining ourselves, so we're hoping we're entertaining you as well.
I like to be entertainment, but there's entertainment and there's informational, and if you combine those two, that's all the person needs to get through their day.
Yin and yang.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Weave them together. All right, so we're gonna shut this down.
We out.
We're out of here.
Captain Richard, R&R Saltwater Fishing.
Scott Addis, Gulf Coasting on YouTube. Check me out if you ever haven't. Please subscribe, because I'm going to do another giveaway when I get to 750 subscribers. I'll let you guys know what it is, but y'all keep coasting.
All right. And as always, I've been Captain James, hoping you have a latte fun fishing.